And we start everything off with the pair of undefeated fighters, Jaleel Willis from here in Memphis and Chauncey Foxworth from Hot Springs, Arkansas. And welcome in to WSOF 27. 10-point must system based on effective striking, grappling, aggression, and cage control. That's what the three judges cage side are looking for. No knees or kicks to the head of grounded opponents. And we get underway with the welterweights. We talked about it at the start about things being up in the air. For example, Foxworth comes in here. He's 2-0, but he's beaten the same guy twice. Willis impressive so far, but he may not have faced an opponent with the overall skills of Foxworth. We shall see. It goes to the ground early. Foxworth's 2 wins by way of knockout, Willis by way of knockout. So assuming that again, Joey, coming into a fight like this, you figure we'd see stand up early. Not so, it goes to the ground in the first seconds. And that happens a lot of times in these fights, Kenny, when you got 2 guys who love to stand and bang. One of them feels they have the advantage in the wrestling, and they decide to go that route to get an easier victory, to say. But is that all good strikers want to be good wrestlers and vice versa? And again, back to the mat it goes. Willis doing a great job from the top position. He's in half guard right now. What he wants to do is clear that left arm, post on the chin of Foxworth, and drop down some elbows from there. He wants to be active in this top position, either with ground and pound or advancing his position. Jaleel Willis makes quick work of opponents. 4 of his 5 wins coming with first-round knockouts. But perhaps a more challenging opponent here tonight in Foxworth. Foxworth is doing a good job of stifling the attempts of ground and pound from Willis, but he's got to be more active on bottom. He can't just stop the ground and pound. He needs to start moving those hips, either A, to set up a submission, or to B, to create an opportunity for him to scramble back to his feet. And what it's doing now as well is Foxworth using a lot of energy, simply being on defense. And Willis taking a page out of the book of MMA legend Randy Couture. Randy used to love to stay inside, stay in half guard. He didn't like to pass the guard. He liked to stay in half guard because he felt from that position he could effectively rain down some vicious ground and pound and really hurt his opponent. And you're seeing that right now out of Jaleel Willis. Yeah, gets more leverage that way was always the natural feeling about it all. Absolutely. And it kind of makes sense when you think about it. People get excited with the full mount naturally. But again, here's Willis throwing some good punches. Another thing that happens in a grappling match, when you're in half guard and you go to pass to side control and you go to pass to guard, a lot of times you create an opportunity for your opponent to scramble and either make it back to his feet or secure a better position, maybe full guard. But as we see right now, Willis has done a great job of passing right into side control. It's been Jaleel Willis controlling the action most of this first round. He's only been past the first round 1 time in 5 previous pro fights. A nice inside leg trip. Trips him up, goes right back to the ground. And this is an opportunity right here. Willis has him pinned against the cage. It's a great time to really start posturing up, putting your hands on his chest, posture nice and high, and start raining down those elbows. There's not a lot of space for Foxworth to move there, so he's in a great position to start doing some real damaging ground and pound, especially with those elbows. On the flip side, if you're Foxworth, you've got the fence right there. That's one of the best tools in the game to help you get back to your feet. you want to start shrimping towards the fence and do what they call a wall walk, using that fence to walk back up and get back to your feet.
Willis not giving him any room to breathe right now. Right back to it. Both these guys know what's at stake here. This is the biggest fight for them, the first time on a national stage.
Willis sinks both hooks. He's got full back, sinks both hooks. He's got the rear naked choke.
He may have it. He's got 16 seconds to finish this off before the bell to end the round.
But Foxworth is doing a good job of defending. You see how he's reaching up and he's grabbing the hand.
Time may be on his side. It's close down to the bell. Into the first round, dominated by Willis. Back live in Memphis, WSOF 27, first round going to Jaleel Willis in the blue, controlling the action throughout. We overheard in the Chauncey Foxworth corner, the man wearing the gray with the blue trim, let your hands go, throw some more punches. Don't let this turn into a wrestling match. Because Willis was clearly in control when it was on the ground. And again, they remind him as soon as they get out there, Chauncey, let the hands go. Nice kick by Willis. Foxworth still trying to get in close. Both these guys young fighters. Foxworth just turned pro in August 2015. Willis pro since April of 2014. Foxworth trying to get inside on Willis. Willis dancing around and stays away.
And I'll tell you what, the corner giving the advice for Foxworth to let his hands go, to swing more, but when they do trade, when they do engage, it doesn't seem like any fighter has more of an advantage in the boxing department.
Both guys, all their wins coming by knockout. For Willis, though, rare territory, only the second time he has been into the second round. The man in the blue trunks.
And that's one of those instances that sometimes can make a fighter or break a fighter. Sometimes the fighter's never made it out the first round, but he's ready to go 10 rounds.
That was a nice kick by Foxworth. He slipped and fell down, quickly got back up. No knockdown there. But Foxworth trying to be more aggressive and land some strikes. Big swing and miss.
What I'd like to see from Foxworth right now is some more established striking. Not just one punch or one kick at a time, but put a jab out there. Put a jab cross. See how he reacts. Start playing a chess game with it. Create some openings with your strikes and capitalize on those. But the one thing at a time, the one punch or the one kick, it has a low success ratio, and it also opens you up to get countered.
He slid in a left, his best punch by far from Foxworth. Willis comes back with the kick. And Foxworth sprawls out and will not go down at least yet. Now the action goes against the fence. It's Willis controlling. Willis looking for that quick trip. Get it back to the ground. That was where he was so effective in the first round.
And you see, Kenny, you talked about it earlier, the fact that Willis had never been out of the first round. That first round, his shot was so fast, it was explosive, it was effective. He hit everyone. He secured this trip, but you can see his last 4 shots this round, they've slowed down a little bit. That second round has kind of hit him a little bit. It's foreign territory for him.
And Willis does get the trip takedown. And Foxworth once again having to go on defense right against the fence there and right in front of the corner of Willis.
You just worry about fighting. You just fighting. It's cool. Doing good, man. Good, Julian.
When you're going to work like that, is it any advantage that Willis is right in front of his own corner getting instructions?
Always advantage. You know, you've got your coaches right there telling you exactly what to do. And it's not only your advantage, it can be discouraging to your opponent.
Yeah, nobody's encouraging Foxworth over there.
No. But at the same time, he's also hearing what they're telling him to do. So he knows what to avoid as well. So it can play as a positive or a negative, all depending on the person on bottom, how they're taking it. One thing that I think Foxworth needs to do is, you see he was pinned against that fence and he shrinked, he moved his hips towards the center of the cage. He's gonna have a lot harder of a time getting up to his feet from the center of the cage than he would have if he had his back against the cage where he could wall walk.
And Willis back in control, getting this back to the ground.
Try to use your right leg.
So Jaleel Willis, the man known for knockouts, has turned this into a ground display here in the first and second round. And now Foxworth is able to see an opening, quickly gets it back up, and right back down Willis takes it.
I think that's the third inside leg trip he hit. That's a phenomenal takedown. He executes it very well.
Willis was a high school wrestler, does have that background. It's paying off here. Final seconds of round 2. Foxworth had one really good punch, but Willis able to get it back to the ground, and that's where it stays as we come to the end of the round.
No. The corners, seconds out. Hey, camera out. Okay, seconds out, guys, out.
Action from the second round here in Memphis. There is the elbow from Chauncey Foxworth. From Jaleel Willis there taking it.
And you saw right as the elbow hit, the blood just immediately started pouring down.
So Foxworth able to get that in just before the end of the round, opening a cut over the bridge of the nose of Willis. The doctors have taken a look at it. We get ready for the third and final round. Jaleel Willis, 5-0. Foxworth, 2-0 coming in. And once again, it's Willis going for the takedown and getting it. He has dominated the ground game, the former star high school wrestler from right here in Memphis.
And you see right there, Kenny, oh my gosh, if you take a look at it, you can see the blood. It's squirting. It's a steady stream squirting from his forehead onto the face of Chauncey Foxworth.
That's not Foxworth's blood. As he walks back to his corner, they're going to have to take another look. It is pouring off that nose.
From our angle, it looked like a stream from a squirt gun, or a stream of water. It was literally just squirting straight down.
Elbows legal. That's one thing about elbows there. They rarely are going to knock somebody out. They can hurt, they can sting, but what they usually do is leave a bloody mess, obviously.
Exactly. And the problem with elbows to the forehead is, like you said, they don't do a lot of damage, but they bleed a lot. Elbows on the head, cuts on the head have a tendency to bleed. So even though there might be the appearance of damage done, there's really not a lot of damage. It just doesn't look that appealing. It looks gross.
And it certainly does now as they resume action here. Willis taking that elbow in the late stages of round 2. Willis has been in control of this fight, dominating the first 2 rounds by doing this, keeping it on the ground. And Willis, a man who at one time he was a kid, he was selling t-shirts at a county fair, and MMA promoter needed someone to fill out his card. They said, hey, you look pretty athletic. He said, I wrestled in high school. He said, you want to come in here, make some money and fight? He said, sure. And voila, an MMA career was launched. Obviously, he's gotten much more sophisticated since then to come in here at 5-0. But that blood continues to squirt out from the cut above his nose, right around the bridge area there.
You know, it reminds me of an old fight between a veteran of the sport, Jay Haran versus Jonathan Goulet. Jay Haran took a knee to the head in the first round, opened up a nasty cut. He dominated the whole fight, but the cut bled so bad that halfway through the third round, the doctor stopped the fight. He won a fight that he was completely dominating. I hope we don't see here that here tonight.
And that is the biggest danger about taking an elbow, isn't it? The fact is, it could bleed so profusely that they would have to eventually stop the fight. So far, not the case.
And that's actually why there's a lot of mixed martial arts organizations internationally that ban elbows, just because of that, because they don't want to see a fight stopped on account of a cut.
And right now, Willis forcing the action. and getting another takedown. A handful of strong takedowns in this fight for Jaleel Willis, who is trying to run his record to 6-0. And timeout again by the veteran referee Herb Dean, who is right on top of things here. They're going to have to take a look one more time at this cut. A cut again from an elbow thrown by Chauncey Foxworth when he was on the bottom of the exchange with Jaleel Willis just before the end of round 2. Ringside doctors, cut men going to work. Herb Dean right there in the mix.
Take a look at it. Let's pull it off. Yep. Pull off.
Given the placement of this cut,
Okay. All right, let's go.
it appears at this moment there's only so much they're going to be able to do.
Well, here's the issue. The cut isn't bleeding into his eyes, so it's not affecting his ability to fight, but I think it's the amount of blood that's coming from the cut that has them worried.
And the action moving now right in front of us as they resume, with Willis on top, getting side control here of Foxworth once again. So Willis being cheered on by his home crowd. Some wanting the action to get back on its feet, though, including the corner of Chauncey Foxworth. That would appear to be Foxworth's hope that it can get back on its feet, Joey, assuming the judges are giving all the credit for the ground control that Willis has exhibited in rounds 1 and 2.
But the problem is aside from right now, Foxworth now he did it. But for the last 45 seconds, he stayed flat on his back. If you want to get to your feet, you've got to get on a side. You've got to start moving those hips. Flat on your back, you have zero mobility. Once he moved, once he got to a side, he was able to do this and get back right away. And now he turns into him. He needs to work on an underhook. He needs to secure an underhook or he's going to get tossed again.
Right now it's Willis again, pushing him to the fence again. We'll see if he can get another takedown. Working on the leg. Foxworth trying to hold off and shakes that one loose for the moment. Back to the center they go. Foxworth charges in, misses with a right, and right back down he goes. Willis, another takedown.
And if you look at Foxworth's body language on bottom position, you know, he just looks deflated. It's the end of the 3rd round. You've got to be exhausted. You're covered in sweat, covered in blood. But he's doing a good job. You see that? He posted off on the head. He got his hips under him. He got back to his knees.
Trying to get back to his feet one more time. His corner pleading with him to try to shake loose. And time to use his elbow. We're hearing his corner say, use your elbow if you can. He tries to get back up, and Willis pushes it right back down. Jaleel Willis is 5-0 coming in, 4 wins by way of knockout, 1 time by decision. He has never gone into the 3rd round. Foxworth had never gone into the 3rd round either. And these 2 guys appears will be going the distance. It is over. It will go to the judges. Bloodied and battered a little bit, but in control on the ground, Jaleel Willis. Was it good enough to go to 6-0? We'll have the judges' decision when we come back to Memphis.
I got to touch this fucking camera.
It's okay, you know? It's just disgusting. I know where you're coming from, yeah. No, I know. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
That's man. That's adversity. They told me to come clean you up on TV.
Our ringside scoring app, we thank you for participating. Caitlin and Chris both going in favor of Willis, as our own Joey Varner did as well, giving all those rounds Joey did 10-9 to Willis for his ground control. Willis catching that elbow, opening that cut on the bridge of his nose late in the second round. He was bloodied but not hurt by it, and he goes on here, and will he go to 6-0? The judges have made their decisions. Jazz Sakuro now to read their verdicts.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of professional fighting, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judges Kevin Haynes, Daniel Simmons, and Jeff Mullen all score this fight 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision, Jaleel